Hello everybody, welcome back to Middle-earth. This is Count MRVHS with another episode of our 4th Age Total War Dwarves campaign. And we are being attacked just outside Tardal with a fairly large Adunabar host. However, this is not particularly threatening. I'm seeing a lot of dark swords, which are the strongest units in this mix. I am seeing a lot of javelin types and archers, which are really more of the concern at this point. So as you can see, I've moved my force a little bit to the west into Tardal, or at least into this region, to draw them out, and they have certainly accepted that. Look at that balance of power bar there. We're outnumbered about 2 to 1 here, but I don't think we're outmatched. We have a lot of ranged units ourselves. Those archers will be useful. And of course the Blunderbusses, we saw how effective they were in the previous episode, so I'm sure they will do well this time. Alright, looks like the ground is in our favor as well. So probably they're going to try to come around our left. I think that's fine. I'll set up along this hill to sort of anticipate that. Alright, let's get the archers all together. Right about there. And the axes. And a little behind them we'll have our axe or armor-piercing type units. We'll put the king right here, kind of near the front lines, because again, we do want to use the bodyguards. Cavalry just in the back, and blunderbusses. What to do about them? So again, we've got so many of these guys. I think possibly the thing to do is just split them into 2 small groups. And I think we'll take them... yeah, probably leave them on skirmish. And we'll keep them hidden with the idea of sort of emerging and maybe flanking if the opportunity should arise. Now, I can barely see Adunabar advancing through the woods toward us. I'm not sure how the rain is going to affect the gunpowder. I know in Medieval 1 they just wouldn't fire in the rain. But of course this is on the Rome engine. I sort of doubt that anything like that is factored in. Okay, so here you can see the enemy trying to outflank you. Now, one thing you can do to avoid that is simply move your guys over. And a lot of times you see them sort of stopping and pausing. If you move over far enough, they will quit trying to outflank you. And I think the problem is I'm not doing it with all of my units. Alright, so what we're going to do is just have to turn something along those lines. Yep. And so here they come. Pretty much straight up towards me now. Alright, so this is a large army. Good news is they've only got a single unit of cav. That's their general. So he's likely to rush up the hill toward us. This is Riders of Aridor, very similar to our own Aridor Rider mercenaries, of course. So I'm not too worried about them. These are some Aridor spearmen, very light. They've got some grim spears. The units that I am more worried about would be the dark swords. They're the best melee infantry that this stack has. But these are Rydor scouts too. They've got javelins which are very damaging to, well, to my units potentially. Alright, all of our blunderbusses are still hidden. I'm thinking they should be able to handle this flank. And I should really start running my My archer's back. Okay, so now we're getting shot by their own archers. Alright, we're already firing on them. That's great. Alright, axes are firing. Let's get the cav in there. Nope, they're not. Oh, they are. Okay. I'll send in the king. Watch it though, because we do have gunpowder units firing, so this could be a friendly fire situation. But there goes. There's the general. Great. All right, halt. And let's get the cavalry out of there, if we can. Wonderful. Shot though, that's what I was worried about. Okay. So I think it's time to engage with all of my dwarves. These guys are not going to be able to withstand just a general push towards them. They're already scared. Yeah, we're just routing bit by bit. So let's pull them forward in the interest of avoiding friendly fire from the blunderbusses, but also because these guys cause fear just by their presence. So we're going to see a mass rout. Yeah, there we go.
Now hunt them down.
And my archers are actually going to be able to catch some of these guys because they are faster than dwarves. Alright, so we got just a rout, cleaning up the rout. Not too bad. Now we're going to see if the AI will attack me again. But this was very good. We cleared out about half of the forces in this region. Let's not get friendly fire. Definitely want to get these bows taken out. Alright, so we didn't take that many losses. Warhammer's got a lot of casualties. Again, this is skewed because we were chasing routers. But we did lose some of the bowmen, but we're not too badly at all. About 12 blunderbusses out of this unit. And, you know, if need be, I'll combine some of those. There's no need for me to have 6 of these blunderbusses in a single stack. What I should be thinking about is getting that other army from the west over here, because I would like to have more infantry to have a proper line. But on the other hand, maybe I don't need it. But yes, I've got this army here, Lieutenant Villy, and let's see. Might not be a bad idea just to start him marching. What I see inside the settlement here is not too threatening. It is some ranged troops, and I don't have any real way to counter that. My archers are going to be vulnerable, but you know, it may just be worth it to get them moving. I'm not seeing any big threatening stacks around here either, so we'll just head over. Let's see, Hollowbold is an elven spy who's just chased out. And we made a little bit of money last turn, about 4 grand. Oh, I can see the elves sort of setting up an ambush here right on the border. Okay. So what next? Do I really want to besiege Tardal? At this point, I don't know. So, Adunabar has Bree. Do I have another spy in the area? I thought I had one that I was bringing up. Let's check out my agents. Okay, he's over there, Northern Cardolan. He's hanging out near Three Ways. And I've got one up in Angmar. Okay, and one in Western Holland moving up. Okay, so we'll keep him heading in this direction. And this scout over in Karn Doom, let's head over. I don't know, like I don't necessarily want to besiege Tardal. I'd rather fight them in an open battle. For a couple of reasons. One, to avoid the siege bug, whereby if I'm besieging a settlement and a relieving army comes to attack me, that my game sometimes crashes when that happens. So I'd rather avoid that, I guess. But on the other hand, I'm not really sure what to do with this army. But the other thing is I don't necessarily want to take this until I'm done with the Outland Dominion here. Although that is only a couple of turns away. And I don't want to assault it because it's too strong. What I'd rather do, in a way, is have this army come out of the settlement. So let's set up right like over here in an ambush position and just see what happens. We'll wait here for a turn or two. Maybe they'll send an army outside. Let's put that a little closer. And if so, we can potentially have an ambush, which would be very interesting. Mercenaries are coming back here, so let's send... Okay, how about this? Lastbridge is a chief settlement. This is a place I can retrain mercenary units that are depleted, that are from this area. So I'm going to send this mercenary unit over here, kind of as bait. I'm going to recruit the other one that's available. And maybe, if this army comes out of here, I'll be able to ambush them. I don't really know if that'll work, but we'll see if that happens. Alright, and we've got a bunch of money to spend, as normal. Alright, so I'm thinking we want something here. 13,000 to spend. Restored Westgate would give us some trade. Pretty substantial, but it's also quite expensive. So I want to hold off on that. King's Coffers is going to give me a higher level scout, so maybe we'll do that. Is there anything over here that we've been neglecting? Not really. Again, we're waiting for the population to grow here so we can train a couple of infantry units. And over here, that's right. Okay, it looks like Rune is heading over here, so we need to keep training. Well, Dwarves of the Iron Hills. I think that'll be plenty to deal with this. Once we get this dwarf unit trained, if we've got the population, which we won't, we'll be able to train another, which we won't. So we'll have 4 dwarf units, and I think that'll be plenty against this 8 Manish units, especially in the siege defense. So he is not the governor yet. I think we just moved him over the other turn. I think that's probably good for us to go on to the next turn. As you can tell, I've been playing a ton of Rune lately. I'm working on the next faction guide. And so, it's been pretty successful, actually. I've had the best Rune campaign I've had in a very long time. Screw you, Rune. It's okay when I'm them. Alright, so Rohan is concerning me. And here's the thing. If Rohan causes a war with me, the Reunited Kingdom will follow. And that will make all of my concern about extending a border with them moot, because I'll be at war anyway. It would be tragic, but I could deal with it. I could end up grabbing Numinas and Fornost and all these other places. Okay, so they did not come out of the settlement. And here we go, retraining those mercenaries. And now we can train hireling spears here, which is quite nice. So let's keep going there, actually. I would like to increase the population growth. And Dwarven Craft is not going to do it. Exchange houses will. That'll just give me a little bit of trade income, but it's going to be offset by corruption. So I'll be making extra 4 million per turn, but the population growth is really the prize there. On the other hand, that's not going to give me growth just yet. Yeah, so I think we got to do this so we can really start training out of this settlement. And that includes retraining mercenaries, which are going to be a very important part of the war effort up here, because we're pretty far from dwarven settlements. Okay, so what do I want to do with this guy? Alright, tell you what, let's move back here. And then if they come out to attack Last Bridge, I think I'll be able to get down there in time. And then, meanwhile, we're heading over here. They've still got an army there. I'm going to bypass Turn for Vane for now. I'm really not concerned about them attacking me, even though they certainly could. But I'll just keep a scout around here to check that. Alright, and Loon, what do I want to do? Again, population growth is important, so we'll go for exchange houses. Now down here, I think we're done with the Dwarven Blunderbusses that I could train. Let's see if we can get the population up. Nope, so we're just going to have to wait now. We've got 4 Blunderbusses and 1 Dunlending mercenary unit. It would be nice to get a family member down here to pick up some mercenaries to assist, but that may not be a possibility for a little while. What? What? They will give 9,551 Mirian. I accept. It has been a very long time since I've seen that, if I have ever seen that. I've heard of such things. Wow. I wonder what triggered that. And they're neutral. Alright, so something big that just happened. So this is an extinction event. You click this Old Grievances Forgotten, and you click, as the instruction says, click on the Show Me How button. And what this does is it triggers one of the very few scripts we have running in the mod. You may notice that, unlike a lot of other mods for Rome Total War, this one does not use scripts nearly to the extent that the others do. Every time you load up the game, you don't have to click the advisor button. You don't have to do anything like that. But there are a couple of places where we do have the potential to use scripts during the campaign, and one of those is this situation because of a bug in Vanilla Rome where when a faction is eliminated, that faction's diplomatic status remains, so that screws up other factions making alliances and ceasing wars and so on. So as you may notice, if you are at war with a faction, if you're allied, no, let me put it this way. Let's say you're at war with one faction, and you want to ally with another faction, but that faction you want to ally with is allied with the faction that you're at war with. You cannot ally with that other faction. That makes sense. But when the faction you are at war with is eliminated, you still will never be able to ally with that other faction. Even though the war is technically over, in the game files, the war is still going. So what this is telling me is the faction has been eliminated, and it's probably Harondor, because I'm seeing all this this change in loyalties. What this is basically saying is all these old alliances are being broken with the death of the Harondor faction. Okay, so the elves and Ravanian are allied. That's fine. And Ettendale has finished its dominion building. I keep forgetting how quick the dwarves can build stuff. It's really great. Yeah, we made a ton of money in diplomacy. Alright, and Rune finally got over to Baraz Doom, the Iron Hills, to besiege it. Okay, wars and rumors of war. Let's check out the diplomacy here, because I'm curious about the elves. They are at war with Rohan and the United Kingdom. So again, we saw this a while ago. Rohan got up in this part of the world, and they have not taken Karas Galadon or Amon Lank, so they haven't taken any elven territory, but probably there was some ambush or something that happened in the woods. You can see there's an elven army right here. So I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but they're technically at war now. You could chalk it up to mannish distrust, right, in the Fourth Age. And because Rohan and the Reunited Kingdom share that Oath of Eorl, right, the binding oath there, very similar to the Roman factions in the vanilla game, unfortunately that means the Reunited Kingdom have been dragged into war against the elves. So I am not allied with, well, I am allied with the Reunited Kingdom and with Rohan, but the elves still feel like throwing money at me. It's very interesting. Maybe they just want to get on my good side. So, I think this is a good point to actually stop the episode for now. What I'm going to do here, though, is I would love to grab Mount Graham, which is an orcish settlement right up here. It's a fort. It would be relatively easy to get, but I don't dare leave this leave these armies marching around my territory, especially now that I've built up Ettendale a little bit. So I think I will have to head over and threaten Tardal. We're going to get... Oh, interesting. Okay, this gives us a very interesting opportunity, folks. In theory, we could capture the settlement without a siege. Is it likely? Well, they don't have a lot of cav. They've got one general here who could theoretically run away to the city. They've got a troll unit. These guys are fast. They could rout and just run off the field. But if I can eliminate something like 85% of this force and kill the general, and if I can do the same with this force, which should be relatively easy, I could attack and get this settlement without a siege. And I would actually love to do that right now. So I think that is what we're going to do in the next episode. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll check you out in the next one.